Because I just ran into a team who literally wiped 8 times on daughters, who clearly don't know how to do this raid. So, this is how you're supposed to do the raid. Everyone in the entire community knows this. So, L1, R1. Back here, L2, R2. When you're doing this, make sure there's 3 on each side. There should never be more than 3 on each side at all, even if your side isn't the one being taken. If your side is being taken, there should only be 2, max. If your floater is taken, then R2, L2, R1, and L1, you guys are in charge of the plates. If you are the plate holder and you're taken, your floater is supposed to take care of your plate. That's how the mechanic is supposed to work. During each damage phase, you have a total of 2 minutes exactly to get down to the 3rd round of doing the plates. It could be L1, R2, which is diagonal. It could be L1, R1, which is a giant U. It could be L1 and L2, which is the U from that way. Same thing with R1 to R2, going that way. So the way the mechanics are supposed to work is the person that steps on the plate, if you're on L1 and the knight's on L1, you kill it immediately. Stand on your plate. Totem will be in the air on the corresponding plates. That will indicate which plate stands on next. Whatever plate stands on last is the last plate you get to get to totem. The first plate is the one you start onto to get to the plates, to get to the other side of the plate, to get to totem. So the way they were doing this was absolutely incorrectly. They were doing way too slow, which you only have like 10 seconds of damage. There's a person in there that only completed the raid twice. Didn't have a mic. 3 of them did have mics. Only 2 of us had mics. So, in all raids, they all required a mic. It's extremely important to communicate. If you cannot communicate, you're not going to get this raid done anytime soon. It's going to take about 3 hours to even get it done. So, make sure you have a mic before you even jump in a raid, or even try to get into a raid. So, number 3 of the problem that I've been having with the team I had before is the fact that if you're not fast enough, delete the person, well, kick the person that's literally causing the problem, which would be, in this case, Shady. He only completed twice. He was not following any of the directions. He wasn't going to the plates. He was staying still instead of doing the mechanics himself. We would have to yell at him saying, go to R1, go to L1, go to R2, go to L2, and he does not follow our directions. That's why you need a mic. We need to hear you communicate with us, so we can hear what's going on if you're confused or having problems understanding, so we can help you. If you don't have a mic, we cannot help you. We cannot help you if you don't have a mic. It's communication. So the way it works, 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. The 3rd round, you grab the orb, take it to the one that's shooting. It could be left or right, whatever one is shooting you. The one that's shooting you, you take it from her, and you slam it down, and you go to the machine. You stand on this totem. You should have. This is your minimum time. You should have maximum of 45 seconds, minimum of 25 seconds. You must do enough damage to be able to finish her off the next round, because you only have 4 chances in total. Or it's a wipe. So make sure you are fast enough communicating and understanding. If you don't have to understand, ask for help. We'll help you. I don't care if I take my time and teach you. But if you don't have Mikey, you're not going to tell us that you're having trouble understanding, then we're not going to help you. That's literally how the entire Destiny 2 community feels. If you do not communicate, do not tell us you don't know what to do, or having trouble, and you do not tell us, we're not going to help you. We're not here to give you free carry. We're here to teach you the mechanics and get you through the raid. So you learn how to do mechanics on your own. So the way the entire phase is supposed to do. L1 starting. Let's say R2 starting. So L1 and R2. L1 steps on first, kills a knight, stays on plate. Looks over to the right, sees R2 Tolan's above. R2 stands up, stay on the plate. Taken person jumps onto the platforms, all the way to R2. Once you touch Tolan, have to tell everyone to get off so they don't die by the red explosion. Once you get off, the next plate, let's say it's R1. R1 is starting. So the R1 person is going to be in charge of that plate. It stands on, kill the knight. Let's say it's L1, for example. So R1 would be jumping on plates in a U shape, all the way till they get to Tolan. That's second round. Final round. Let's say, for example, it's the back plates. R2, kill the knight, stand on plate. Let's say it's L1. R2 is going to jump across the area until they get to Tolan. Grabs Tolan, come over here. Whichever one is shooting you is going to be the one you slam me down. Once you slam down, you're going to take the barrier to your teammates so they can be able to be protected. While we're doing damage, absolutely do not use linears. While you're doing damage, you're going to be flinched about 5 times more than you usually do, even in PvP. You will 50% hit your shots. You will miss most of your shots. The best place that's doing this is rockets. Gallahorn, legendary rockets, or even Dragon's Breath. That's what I use. I use Dragon Breath and FTCSS Veil. Allows me to do maximum damage. So once you do that damage, if you kill her, stay on the podium. Do not move until the flashlights disappear. Once the flashlights disappear, it's time for the second round. So you're just going to keep repeating. Third round, you're going to go to the last one. You're going to grab Tolan, slam down her, and then this time, you're going to stand on the right totem. You're going to stand on that plate with the barrier, and you're going to do maximum damage as fast as you can. Your time should be only 45 seconds, or if you're actually fast enough, you could probably be 55 seconds. It should never go below 25 seconds during damage phase. Even if you want a 2 phase, even if you want a 3 phase. If you want a 3 phase, you can easily notch her down to a quarter of health and don't do any damage. That's how you do 3 phase. Same thing with 4 phase. If you don't want to kill her, notch it down to a quarter. Once that happens, there'll be a total of 4 rounds. First 2 rounds, you did both damage on both wizards. The last 2 rounds are going to be finishing the wizards. You should always focus on communication. Nothing else matters. Communication is key. Without communication, you're not going to be able to get this done correctly or fast enough. Especially people who have problems of joining LFGs that don't know what to do trying to get free carry, which you will run into a lot of them, like I have. So I hope this guide helps you to understand what this mechanic does. Rockets are damage for her. Oryx is going to be linears and position damage. It should never be rockets. It should never be shotguns. It should never be swords. It should never be trace rifles, unless you're using div. No Tractican, because there's no point in using Tractican, because Tractican does not cover linears. It takes about at least half of the damage, which you really do with div versus Tractican. Even though Tractican is 30% and div is 15%. Div is position strength, and Tractican is a area defect area, like shotguns, fusions, rockets, grenades, supers, trace rifles. You can even get away with Grenade launchers, even though some of them bounce back. So these are the strategies you want to use. These are the builds you want to use if you're Warlock, Dragon's Breath, Solar Grenades, and Aethel's Veil. And when you do Orcs, Whisper Worm combined with Aethel's Veil, you will do higher than 4.0. You will be out damaging the Hunters, you will be out damaging the Titans. So make sure you use this build. Make sure you understand this guide. So I'm sorry I don't have a team, so I can't put in the guide into action. So I hope this communication would actually help you guys understand what the mechanics. The challenges are a little bit more difficult. The challenge is the person that's taken makes sure they cannot touch the ground. If they touch the ground, it's challenge ended. Which grass is always greener is this week's, which is the totems. That's the person I had to deal with earlier. Even though it was his fault most of the time for not standing at his side. He was on R1, L2, L1 and R1, instead of being an R2, L2 area, was screwing us over when he's supposed to be on L2. I had to cover his play multiple times. So, I hope this helps you guys understand what the mechanics is and how to do the raid correctly. If the people are doing it incorrectly, I advise you to either teach them or leave, because it's just going to be a waste of time. So this is the correct way of doing it. So I hope this guide helps you, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.